The studio habit express means an artist uses, no, I said it really well in the practice wheel. Studio habit express is used when an artist creates work. Oh no, I wasn't looking at the camera. I was just talking. The studio habit express is used when an artist creates work that shows their idea, their thoughts, or some sort of personal meaning. So it's a really important habit to use to show that art isn't just made to be pretty, it's made with the artist's voice in mind. It's a way an artist says what they're feeling or their thoughts they have, or sometimes even a story, like a legit story. I use my studio habit express when I'm making art that answers some sort of question revolving around a big idea, or when I have something important I want to say. And sometimes I even do it when as a journal, I need to work out a feeling I'm feeling or a thought I have about something. But I'm not the only artist that uses this studio habit express. It is used, it's been used for, I think, since the beginning of art making.
Art has always been there to help tell stories through prehistoric times, through ancient civilizations, through medieval times, all the way to today. Most of what we know from the past are because of pieces of art have helped us piece together the story of the past. Some artist examples that we have here are actual art careers, people that do this for a living today. Comics or comic strips are typically a small short story or some sort of joke told in one panel or 2 to 6 panels. It was always my favorite part of the newspaper to read through all the little comics. And one of my favorites were the Peanuts or Charlie Brown, along with Garfield, although you can't forget the cat that loves lasagna. But what was really cool is these comics have always been printed in newspapers, but even today can be found inside of books, like a compilation of all types of comics from the same artist, or they even are mainly found on online sources, like online platforms. Comic books are stories told like comics, but instead of just a couple of panels, they tell a whole part of a story. One of the first comics that were printed in the US was actually a Superman comic, and from there, that is where this whole idea of comic books came around. Comic books are kind of like how we have TV shows today. They, on their own, would be a short little story inside one comic book, but when put together, so multiple comic books, multiple series put together to make one larger series, they actually have like an overarching story that ties them all together. Graphic novels are kind of then like comic books in the sense that the entire story is told through multiple panels and multiple pages, but graphic novels stand apart from comic books because they tell the entire story in just one booklet. So they're kind of more like, if we're going to keep going with this like TV show analogy, graphic novels are like the movies. The whole entire story is told only in like the one piece of art form. Mangas are a style of comic books and graphic novels that originated in Japan. So manga has a very stylized way of drawing characters and showing a story with different types of proportions and different types of line work. And then there's illustrations, which are just a little moment of time from a story. They'll capture kind of like a sentence or an action that's happening in the story and will show that image.
So those are just some examples of how people use the Studio Habit Express and tell a story with their artwork. So I'm gonna challenge you. I want to see you make a piece of artwork that tells a story. May it be a comic book or a comic strip or a graphic novel, or you play around with the manga style, or just make an illustration to a story that you love to read, or maybe even one that you've written yourself. I want to see you do that. Yeah, that's the art challenge. Get it done.